The world shattered. It wasn't a gunshot or an explosion, it was the silence after the knock. A knock on the door. Men in suits, they took them. My wife, my children, gone. They called it protection, said they were helping. Lies, all lies. The government ripped my family from my arms, they were gone, swallowed by a system that claims to care. Emptiness consumed me. Rage followed. The system I trusted betrayed me. They took everything. Now I have nothing left to lose. This is my story, shared with you through this podcast. From the ashes of despair, a new mission ignited. I would become the guardian they never had, the protector of families facing this insidious threat, the CPS Punisher. Like the demon that took my family, I embraced a skull, a symbol of warning, a beacon to those who would prey on the innocent. They will know fear. This is personal. It's a fight for every parent, every child facing this nightmare. We will expose the truth. We will fight back. Knowledge is our weapon. They thrive on ignorance, on fear. We will arm ourselves with information. Learn the signs, understand your rights. Never let them take your children. Avoid any interaction with CPS. Don't speak without a lawyer. Document everything. Their power lies in silence and fear. We will break that silence. This information can be the difference between keeping your family safe and losing them forever. Spread the word. Share this knowledge. Protect yourselves. This is a call to arms. We need your voice, your strength, your courage. Join the movement. Share your stories. Expose the truth about CPS. Together we will be a force they cannot ignore. We will fight for reform. We will demand accountability. We will protect our children. This isn't just about me, it's about us. It's about the future of our families. Join the fight. Our children are counting on us.
In the shadows of the night we stand our ground. Whispers of the lost, their cries resound. The CPS Punisher will We the people of the United States have the right to bear arms. If you're sick and tired of the corrupt system and ready to stand up and fight, you're not alone. You got people ready to fight alongside you. And now more than ever, you need to stand up, because the people in power have already stripped us of our rights. They've already taken everything they can from us. It's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to fight, because it's now or never. There is no tomorrow, and they're already trying to take our children. They're already trying to strip us of our rights. And if we don't stand up now, if we don't fight back now, we will have nothing left to fight for. Who are you? I'm the Punisher. What are you doing here? I'm
All right, everybody, welcome to the all new Let It Out with the Punisher show on Sundays here. We got a very special first guest here, friend Andy, and I'm allowed to call him Andy because Andy's only to be called Andy by his friends, and that's what he said that I am. So, Andy, welcome, my friend.
Oh,
Here we are.
yes. Just to,
So, Andy, you big tale to tell, my man.
yes. First, let me introduce myself formally. My full name is Andrew Hamilton Pritchard. My friends call me Andy. Anyone who is a friend, please call me Andy. I'm beneficiary in equity and executor of 9 Sylvester Court, Norwalk, Connecticut. Connecticut fully spelled out. No zip code, none of that. I want to make that clear just for any sort of legal documents or lawful things that I've put forward and everything else, because I do have things in the U.S. Supreme Court, so forth and so on. But I'm not an attorney, so you know, I am a sui juris.
Right, everything here is for entertainment purposes only. Entertainment only. Yes.
And so I'm Andy. First of all, that's the first time I've seen the intro. There is something that I would like to say to Child Protective Services, and actually the focus of my efforts and everything else involving all these things, stuff with guardianship, probate, all kinds of things that I'm involved with. Just to give you early background as to stuff with Child Protective Services stuff or involving me personally. When I was at Hobart College, which is where I graduated from, you had to write a baccalaureate essay, which was a paper, they call it almost like a senior thesis that had to be published. In 1985, when I graduated, I wrote it, you had to write it the year before to graduate. So I wrote it on child abuse in the state of New York from the perspective of law and psychology. And if you go back in time, we didn't have an internet or anything like that. I had to dive into police records of family abuse and things that would boggle your mind, and Polaroids that you cannot ever imagine. And so it is something that hits home so hard that as a testosterone young male, there were people I literally wanted to hunt down. Anyway, the reason I say that is because the reason I bring that up is that there are many people that have come to me and I've been exposed to different stories, horrific stories, much worse than even anything with my story or anything else, horrific. But what I realized in terms of attacking this evil is that the best approach is to attack them from an administrative standpoint, sort of like, who's the famous gangster that they got with the IRS? I'm having a brain fart.
That would be Al Capone, for $10.
Yeah. So the thing is that because what they did to me in foreclosure in the state of Connecticut, or just basically seizing my property, and they did it for different reasons. And I'm not going to get into this sob story on it or anything else, but just to give
we're going to go there.
Perspective.
I said we will definitely go there for sure, because people need to hear what the hell happened to you there. That was ridiculous and wrong, man.
Oh yeah, well, it's connected to all kinds of things. Also, the other thing that I want to let people know, just to make it easier, is with conversation. I was a partner. I am still, as a matter of fact, a partner of Cantor Fitzgerald and Co. I've never received my partnership. Cantor Fitzgerald and Co. Is the firm that lost the most people in 9/11. I was a partner when that happened. And it was our office in Darien, Connecticut, that actually put the firm, was able to open up the U.S. Treasury markets and do things of that sort. So I actually was one of the last people to speak to people before they even jumped out of the building, so forth and so on.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's awful.
I have that history. I share that just because of my attachment to everything in the community and everything going after that, so forth and so on. Anyway, on the spiritual side, so everyone knows, I was senior warden for Christ Episcopal Church. I'm not a Bible thumper. I just want to make it clear, but I do believe in God. Oh, do I believe in God? I swear too much. I'm sort
Welcome
of
to the club.
I'm a bit of a geek. I was a math major and an economics major. At the same time, I was a jock.
Math.
Not the greatest jock, but whatever.
What were your
Did my
sports, Andy?
bit.
What were your sports?
That's it. And I just wanted
No,
to
but
share
what were
that
you a
just
jock
so people get a framework of where and what I'm from.
What was your
I'm,
sports, Andy?
In college I played hockey and lacrosse,
Damn.
and
Should've bet it.
I played soccer. As a matter of fact, this will be interesting for the whole total audience. So you all know Soros, right?
Yes, sir.
George Soros. The
Evil
Soros
George.
boys, the new Soros, who's whatever his name is, the Soros boys all went to an elite private school in Stamford, Connecticut called King School in Stamford. That's the exact same school I graduated from.
No kidding.
Yeah. So the Soros boys and George Soros had his boys all educated there. Anyway, I was,
You know what else? Hey, you know what else? Let's give a little piece. Do you know what else isn't from Stanford? No longer, but what used to be the, you know what else used to be filmed in Stanford? Jerry
Like the
Springer.
shows.
Yeah, Jerry Springer used to be in Stanford.
Yep. Yeah, he was in there.
Yeah, and the Phil show.
Yeah, Connecticut's a very interesting place. People don't understand this, but if you look through even history, even recent history, Connecticut is one of the heads of the snake around the world, if you will. And call it out of Yale Law School or whatever you want to call it. You have the skulls and bones stuff and everything else. Or in recent history, you've noticed that the oldest manufacturer in the world, Remington Arms, or in the United States, Remington Arms was wiped out by the courts of Connecticut, right? So they did away with the First Amendment or the Second Amendment, and then that's what their target was. And then the First Amendment, what state did Alex Jones have all his issues in? Oh, shocking, Connecticut. Anytime there's something where they want to do something, to really, and by the way, on the other side, when everybody's got trouble, they run to Connecticut and hide out. You can go all the way back to like Marilyn Monroe. You can, whatever that producer was, he ran to Connecticut recently with all his kinky stuff.
Oh yeah, who was that?
Jabba the Hutt guy. What
Not
was
Billy
his name?
Flynn, not Richard Flynn. Oh man, what the hell's his name?
He's got, I'll tell you what, this, whatever his name is, I ran into him in my neighborhood when they were looking around for homes. And this guy pulls up in a Range Rover and he's asking me questions where to go and stuff. I'm walking my dogs. And I look over and I'm like, this guy is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm going, holy shit. And, excuse me, sorry. And
No, you can. No, don't worry about that, man. You can talk how you guys talk, brother.
Anyway, next thing, another person leans forward, and she's breathtaking. And it was his wife, I guess. I looked it up later because I didn't know who he was, but I remember saying to him, "Hey, I know you. I know you from." And then he drove off. I told him where to go, and he drove off. But he was looking for a house.
Right.
When he was bugging out of Hollywood. He's the one that had all the, he was sleeping with all those guys.
Yeah.
Harry, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, I share all that stuff, but I would like to get on to some important things.
Yeah. I would like to show the video of what happened at your yard. Is that okay to do that?
Absolutely. And I would like to say
doing
before this plays, nobody has had more police officers in an organized, scheduled, full-on military assault on their front lawn. No one in the country.
No.
I'm number one.
Right.
Go
This
ahead.
is, guys, wait till you see this. This is absolutely amazing. Let me see, where is it here? Of course, I'm watching now just because I had it right here and all set. And now, I'm going through like
That's cool.
I'm just doing that. I don't know if you want to. So you had your property stolen, right? And that's what this is based on.
Yeah,
That was-
I think there's other stuff that's connected to it. I think is
Right.
what the real target for some of these guys are. But basically, my house in foreclosure, according to City Mortgage Inc., my house, based on their foreclosure number, was worth $3.45 million, and their claim was over $200,000. The note matured in 2018. They evicted me in 2022. They didn't evict
Oh.
me. They seized my property. They seized everything and all kinds of stuff with all kinds of false. Everything's false. It doesn't matter. It's all fraud. It's all
Right.
crap.
it's
I
all
have
bull,
federal
right?
claims, just so you know. I know how all this stuff works, and I have federal claims on the property going back. I have I have essentially an allodial title, which goes all the way back to a purchase from the Native American Indians by Roger Ludlow.
Oh wow.
I believe the actual house that was built, I was the fourth owner, and I've lived there. I mean, now I've owned the house for, 30 years.
Oh wow.
So it's my house.
All right. Let me see.
Oh, by the way, just so it's not like I'm a big ticket guy, I bought the house for $350,000 and then put $700,000 into it, and then that's what.
Did you happen to have a link for that I could click real quick? Because I'm not finding the thing. I found there are other paperwork here that I have, but I don't have the link for that show.
I don't know how to. It's on Humble on Rumble. I don't know how to.
Okay, hold on. I'll find that for you real quick here.
I haven't
I
met
don't.
him.
I got it yesterday. It was easy peasy. So Humble on Rumble, right? Rumble. Okay. Yeah.
It's got to
I got it
be like
yesterday.
one of the early pages. So
All right. Humble on Rumble, right?
there's a story that's more police than Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, that's right.
Something
More
like
police than Mar-a-Lago. Yep. Police.
So I think that's one of the stories.
I think that's the one that was the name of the.
And they had 25 there. I think in total we had 70 in total. The people counted 50 to 55, and then there were boats on the water too.
Was there really where you were?
Yeah,
Wow.
I live right on the water. I live right. My home's right on the harbor.
Oh my gosh. That's freaking crazy. I'm looking here. I'm sorry. I can't believe that. Trying to find you here. Now I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my god, thing.
So
when I go on
anyway,
Rumble here, I go,
They the day just to give some people some information on that, the day that that they seized the property, they 3 months earlier prior tried to do they showed up with 15 cops and tried to do stuff, and I showed them lawfully how they didn't have anything there, they didn't have any warrant, all this stuff. Just get out of here, you're trespassing, leave. And the police and everything else and all the people, they're like, we gotta go. Now, they didn't change anything, they didn't do anything, nothing had changed, and nothing had been settled in court and everything, all kinds of stuff. And they just came in anyway. They even had state marshals that people that were impersonating state marshals. They had a false warrant. all kinds of things. They purposely ransacked the house. I got to tell you, though, they did get a scare because they went into my son's bedroom who was asleep, my oldest son. And my oldest son is a professional bodybuilder, heavyweight. Well, he sleeps nude, let's put it that way. And they ran into his bedroom and they like just see a lump there and they wanted to be all tough guy and yank the sheets off. And they found 5'11", 290 of muscle. And they're like, whoa. And my son basically said, you mind if I get some pants on? So it was...
That's funny. So hold on one second here. I'm just gonna. Henry sent me the link yesterday to the thing, and I'm gonna have him. Henry, if you're watching this, if you could resend me that link real quick, that would be great. So I know he sent it to me. Because I watched it. We had a bunch of us watching it last night. But where the hell did it go here? That's what I went. Oh, here we go. I think I got it. Yes, we do. We got it, baby. All right, perfect. Henry, never mind that, buddy. I don't need it. So thank you, though. All right. So let's check this video, guys. Wait till you see this. This is Andy, and this is the threatening man that they're. This is what goes on there.
Police Department, you're occupying this premise unlawfully and without permission in violation of Connecticut General Statute 53A-107.
So Andy, what's going on here?
That's me over by that tree. They're
You will be
arrested.
arrested.
Not allowed on my property. And by the way, they're handcuffing me when I said I would go with them willingly, which is against the law. I said, no need to cuff me.
All right. So where were you here?
No, I'm by the other tree. You'll see a pile of them together. That's them all surrounding me. That big tree over there, they're all surrounding me. And I have documents to say, you guys got to get off this property and stuff. And that loudspeaker system you hear there, that is an LRAD system. That's called a long range acoustical device. It's a weapon. Okay. And if you get later in the video and stuff, they turn it up to a level where you'll hear a beep. When you hear that beep means they're in a permanent damage range. So in other words, they're screwing up people's hearing, they're affecting their mind, everything. You can literally kill people with this thing. It's a weapon.
Wow.
You can look it up, LRAD.
No,
And they used it illegally on our front yard. You know, I mean, all these people that were there or anyone in the neighborhood, you can sue the Norwalk police. They've done damage to you that's permanent. You don't know what it is yet, but they did.
Now, this is you over here, right? In this little surrounding here. You're over here in the street. All these cops are there.
Left-hand side of that tree.
Okay.
They
All right,
got
let's
me.
check this.
They
Let's check this out.
surrounded
Watch
me.
this.
They tried to yank, they yanked me off the property line and all this stuff and everything. It's just, And then they.
Oh yeah, right there. I saw you. You're right here.
Leave the premise and walk to Dorland Street. If you do not leave, you will be arrested.
Now, just so everyone knows, I live out on a point. They locked off the whole point. They locked off a whole point. Gregory
Jesus.
Point.
Now, why were all these people? How did all these people know to come there and support you?
They got there earlier because they knew that this was supposed to go down. And I said, people contacted me. I said, if you want to come, fine. I don't want anyone to do anything at risk or anything. And they all came. I was happy to have them there as witnesses.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, so let's see what happens here.
Police Department, you're occupying this premise unlawfully and without permission in violation of Connecticut General Statute 53A-107.
I'm leaving, man. Yeah, I'm leaving. Let me just. put this shit-
That's Sam Maglieri taking that video. Sam
Okay, so that's your Sam.
That's Sam who's in maximum security prison.
So that's Sam. That's Sam what? What's his name?
That's Sam Maglieri Jr., the guy who's videotaping. That's the guy who's a whistleblower on the governmental crimes in Stanford. And they have him locked up with an excessive bond and everything else just for breach of peace. And he's been in jail now for 550 days. And they've tried to kill him a couple of times. As a matter of fact, he's in Garner Correctional Institute, where they just, what was it? I got it right here. Sorry, hold on a sec. I guess 6 months ago, they killed a guy in Garner Correctional Institute. His name was J. Allen Jones, and he was in what they call IPM, which stands for inpatient medical, which really means solitary confinement naked.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, they killed him.
Oh wow.
Not
How long
Sam.
was he in
Sam's still there fighting hard, and we've got filings in the U.S. Supreme Court on his situation. But they're trying to destroy him.
there?
But
All right,
anyway,
so
that's
we-
Sam and his truck and his American flag.
All right.
I'm leaving. Yeah. Thank you.
Leave the car right there for now. We'll move it later. I don't want anybody to get hit. So
That's
just leave
the
it here. We'll
chief
make
of
some arrangements. I don't want you to move in the
Normal.
car right now.
That guy right there is the buzz cut guy. It's the chief of police.
Yeah, he's a criminal. By the way, I spoke to him the day before. I emailed him the day before all this went down. He didn't tell me anything about this. You have to understand, they had to be, the amount of people and everything else, they all had to be at the police department probably at like 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m. to pull this off. And
Yeah. So what time
supposedly-
is this?
What?
What time in the morning is this? What time of day is this?
That's 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
And they staged in other areas according to witnesses.
Oh wow. So this was a big operation.
Oh no, it probably cost, my estimate is it had to cost somewhere around $150,000-$200,000.
Wow.
Leave the car right there for now. We'll move it later. I don't want anybody to get hit. So just leave it here. We'll make some arrangements. I don't want you to move in the car right now because there's a lot of people walking around. Okay? All right?
no
Understand? Just move out to the street. All right?
We'll get you back in there.
You don't have to touch me, man. I understand.
I got you.
Walk them out.
We want to
This house changed hands illegally.
So you guys will be going out to everyone's home that they've got illegal paperwork.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cops, 19 cops, 20 cops.
Wasted taxpayer money. This I find a riot right here. This is great.
Oh, that guy right there? He's
Marshal, yeah.
He's the state marshal. Now, just so you know, he's the one that arrested me for trespassing. That's not legal. It's not his property. Oh, she's an impersonator. She's an impersonator. Right there is a state marshal. By the way, these people are under the governor of the state of Connecticut, and I have him named as a complicit participant in arrest. But see, state officials, they can't write a warrant or anything else for trespassing. They have no claim on the property. It's an illegal, right then and there. That's illegal. You're like, who are they? Oh, you mean
Right.
anybody? It's just like absurd. No. It's just no.
Thanks. So let's get
But they just seized it. No money.
all right. No, nothing. Just
Yeah, they just seized it, which is a war crime.
I mean, I don't know. You really want to do it. I told you. They told me to move it. And, but they won't be able to move it.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Can you move your vehicle? Or will you towed to the place?
Is it in a no parking place?
We're on public property.
Yeah, but it's
Whose vehicle is it? Whose vehicle is it? Can you please move your vehicle? Can you please move your vehicle?
God bless America.
You should also know all
Every
these
cop is a
police
criminal.
officers.
Every cop
I
is a
handed
criminal
you
in
them
America
as many as I
today.
could.
Putting
Documentation.
innocent people.
Oath and duty to the U.S. Constitution. They're sworn oath and duty to the U.S. Constitution. I understand they operate as a corporation. I understand all that, and we can get into that technical stuff sometime. But I showed them their oath and duty to the Constitution, which is above what, and they're breaking the law. I mean, right then and there. You know, it's like you guys are.
What do they say to you? What do they say to you when you ask them about their oaths of office? What do these cops say to you?
They don't care. They're a bunch of thugs. Most of these cops, at least in Connecticut, a lot of these guys are really bad guys that have come from places where they got in some serious trouble. I mean, I have some stuff that'll blow your mind. I mean, these guys. Here's what else is pretty wild. Our police force here in Connecticut is quite militant. I mean, it's been trained and has heavy equipment from Israel. Okay, they've been trained with the Mossad. Our Stamford, Connecticut Police Department, I think, finished third in the nation as a SWAT unit. And some of those guys are cement heads. I mean, psychos. I know. I played hockey with them. I mean, they're not. They look for a fight. I'm like, dude. I mean,
they look very
militarized,
you know.
I used to crack up because when I played hockey with them, right, they're teammates of mine. Like, they have to keep their gun with them. So we go over to the bench, right? And I like one day I carried the bag of guns. Like you have a bag of pucks to warm up with. And they had the bag of guns.
That's
They're
freaking
like,
funny. No.
Rich, grab the bag of guns. And I'm like taking it over to the bench. And I'm like, you know, if anyone really fucks with us, what are you guys going to do? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's fucking
great. You know, you have to know these people. This is another thing that's unbelievable. There's people in there that literally, I mean, we're talking, I have people in there where I played charity event hockey games with them and everything else. I mean, 12, 13 years. We're talking, and I'm not talking lightweight stuff like up in Montreal, everything else. I'm like, you know, like brothers. I've seen these people in some pretty, you know, wild, and you're like, what is going on? I couldn't even believe it. And a couple of them, you know, came to me the day after and like, you know, hey, Pritch, really sorry, Andy, you know, whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Get out of here. You're an enemy. You're a bad man. You got to live with this. I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. God is with me, and I'm going. I'm, you know, you stepped on the wrong man in his sanctuary. Okay, you pit bulls. I have 2 pit bulls, the most loving dogs there ever was. Piss them off.
Right, tear you apart. All right.
You know, I've never had a more loving animal. I'm more scared of my pug.
In jail, stealing homes.
Get out of the way of this vehicle. You're trespassing.
What happened to our right to live in peace?
That's fine. We're not asking. You guys can stay here. We need to move this vehicle. So please step this way. Please step this way. Push them this way. Why? Let's go. Yeah.
Come on, back up. Black dog. By the way, guys, the feds are here observing you. The feds are here observing your unlawful activity. Don't worry. I got the feds here. And by the way, the feds are here. Sorry, let's go.
Everyone should have parked bumper to bumper so nobody could move, but I'm the only one who didn't think of that.
By the way, these guys treated me.
God bless America, where every cop is a criminal. Every one of them.
That's Sam.
That was Sam that just spoke there?
Yeah.
These are the criminals. 100, 200, 300,000 a year to be a criminal. Stealing homes and putting innocent people in jail. These are the judges. These are the people that do the dirty work of the judges.
You're all we
The
have
politicians.
left. The government's a mess.
They're nothing but criminals. Every one of them. Criminals taking our land and putting innocent people in jail. Every one of them. Every one of them is a criminal. Every one of them a disgrace to our nation. Every single one of them. A disgrace to our nation. Every single one of them.
Man. And then they go up the street and they come around and everything. Is there anything more that you want me to put on this? But I just wanted people to see the size of the police force, man, that they they rumbled you up in, man. It's just crazy. Absolutely insanity, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's
just nuts.
that's some of my story and stuff.
Wow.
But there's a lot more. But when I've gone through this process, just so you know, since we'll go from there real quick. So the claim on my property was over $200,000, that I was in default on $200,000. That is not what happened. I never went into default. As a matter of fact, they automatically I was on like auto pay just with this thing. I actually took out a mortgage because I was told that I had no credit profile. Okay. So I took out a mortgage that I didn't need or anything else. I own everything outright. Okay. And I basically took out, I think at the time, it was $700,000 in the year 2003. And I took out a 15-year note, and that was it, 15-year note. And basically I was just like, okay, put it on auto pay, boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, I come into the holiday season and they're taking out where it was in total like $10,000 a month in terms of payment, taxes and everything else. They're taking out $20,000 two times. And they did it a couple of times. And how I found out was like this. It was in the holiday season and my wife goes, I went to the account. I went to charge something and they said, you don't have funds, insufficient funds. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's got to be 15, 20 grand in there. And it's like, no. I'm like, oh, come on. Next thing I look in and I'm like, son of a bitch. These guys have been taking out extra, payments, right? So I get on the phone with them. I say, listen, you either put the money back or we close out the note right now. I want to close out the note. And I'm going to pay you this for the note, the rest of the note. Because basically that was in the year 2014 to 2015. So finally, sometime around March or whatever, everything gets straightened out, or April. And then I keep saying, because I know they don't have the note. I know how this all works and all the bullshit. And I said, show me the note. You guys now have really pissed me off. And I'm all on recorded lines and everything. I know that. I hold every securities license there is except for one. And I said, I know this stuff inside and out. I even know how it originally was constructed and everything else. And the reason I never went into mortgage backs in terms of Wall Street was because I know it was built on fraud. So And I know the original guys, Lou Ranieri, Andy Stone, one of the disciples. I know who the original buyers were. Believe it or not, this will scare the American public. It was basically USAA. USAA was the backing of mortgage-backed securities, if you will, through Solomon Brothers. Anyway, I sat there and I said, show me the note, give me the note. They couldn't do it. They couldn't produce it. And I kept saying, you guys don't have it because it doesn't exist, guys. No, it doesn't exist. I wrote a check and it went to the Fed and it's my money. So why don't we cut this out right now? Next thing you know, my last payment was something like I'm just using, I can't remember the exact dates, but my last payment was like April 18th, and on May 4th, they put me in foreclosure. So I'm current the entire time. I'm even ahead of payments or everything. And by the way, only principal. And they say I'm in foreclosure. And I'm still paying and stuff and everything else going, what are you talking about? So I just dismiss it and don't really worry about it too much. The next thing you know, I'm like, okay, I'll just go into court. The best part was when I walked into court, they start telling me like, you're basically underwater, Mr. Pritchard. Da, 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 da. And I go, no, I'm not. You guys have this all backwards. I said, I'm the bank. I own the whole thing. I said, if this was a bulldozer and I own 75% of it, I own it outright. You guys don't own jack. I said, I'm out of here. What are you doing? It's just the scales of equity. This is now. Here's what's interesting is, from then all of a sudden they start doing just corrupt stuff because they know they're screwed. And all these laws are written for the bank, but I'm the bank. I'm the largest holder. You can't pull the card of like, well, you only have 20% of the 30%, and play all those statutory games because I'm bigger than they are. I'm like, no. I hold all the cards, dude.
Yep.
And so one thing led to another, to the point where I think in the state of Connecticut, I'm up to 29 judges.
29 judges?
Yeah, total in my case.
Holy smokes. That you've removed from there, or this has altogether been removed involuntary, or what is it? I
mean, Oh, I have one judge that recused himself and then came back in and wrote orders.
No.
Look, I got them all. Let's see. I'm trying to remember names. Judge Kavanewski is the main judge that handled the Kennedy Skakel case. Judge Blowy, who they brought in, Judge Blowy is the judge that handled the Sandy Hook case.
Oh, wow, okay.
These aren't lightweights that they put, me with. Oh, by the way, Blowy recused himself because he knows he's in trouble. Kavanewski, I don't know what he's done. I can't remember them all, but they're all there. They're all under arrest, by the way. Anyway, I would like to go to sort of get to more stuff. Just so people understand, once I started seeing everything that was going on here,
Randy, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick 45-second break here so everybody can stretch out, and then we'll get going to the next chapter. How do you feel about that?
That sounds good to me. Good.
All right, my man. Let's take a quick 2-minute or here or whatever, and we'll do that. All right, everybody, we are back here live with our friend Andy here.
I'm
Man,
coming
this
back.
story- Yeah, no, we're good. This story is just crazy, and his life is even crazier. If we'll get into it now. Like right here, right, Andy? It's like this. Oh man, that's our government for us. Wrong, right? Everything that they do. Why is it that the government is trying so hard, Andy, to fight us like this? What's going on here?
This is good versus evil.
It is.
I do want to. I for some reason my inner voice is telling me to make something. I want to state something. So
Yes.
to me a little better here. I am humble, okay, and I am a humble man who's had an incredible journey and amazing experiences. I've been blessed with no fear of going into the unknown, okay, if you will. And it's not a courage thing, it's more curiosity and so forth and so on. And I've also been blessed with the fact that I recognize that whenever I step into something, I'm not going to have all the answers, nor do I have all the answers now, okay? But there's so many people to learn from everything. Everyone is just so incredible. I give you just a quick analogy. I was fortunate enough, we had somebody that I helped get them to be a citizen here in the United States. They ended up marrying a gentleman who had the last name Callard. His father is a gentleman named Ernie Callard. I got to spend time with Ernie Callard at the wedding. Who the hell is Ernie Callard? Ernie Callard is a high school dropout from Detroit, Michigan. What's so big about Ernie Callard? Ernie Callard is the reason General Motors high performance engines are painted orange, and he's literally the greatest engineer they ever had. Period. Anyone who gets into gearheads or anything up, look up Ernie Callard. Now, how did he end up at General Motors? Basically, all the badass engineers at General Motors they were doing all their top secret stuff and high performance cars and everything else. These high schoolers were drinking beers and drag racing in new neighborhoods that were being built as the city was expanding, right? Because they'd have construction blocks or whatever. And it's like, free. Anyway, these kids would get around and hop up these motors and figure things and twist things and do stuff and just create stuff like, hey, that sounds fast, man. Let's go. Anyways, Ernie Callard smoked these engineers all the time. And the engineers were bringing like top secret GM stuff over. So they ended up literally bringing them into GM first as like an inventory guy. And the next thing you know, I mean, you can't imagine. Like I was there at the wedding and he puts me on the phone with Dave Roush of Ford, fame. And it's like, oh yeah, we talk all the time. And he goes, even today in NASCAR, they call him at times when they can't figure something out. Anyway, my point is, he never even graduated from high school. You never know who you can learn from or what. And for this reason, I've been blessed to, you don't know what you don't know, man. And just like, hey, soak it up. So anyway, what I would like to go to is we're at war, okay? The United States has always been at war in the courts. It's always been about the courts. That's the linchpin, okay? People have to understand that the enemy also is very aware of the power of the courts. And just to put it in perspective, because people don't really get a handle on this, and I learned this from a lawyer when I won a lawsuit against Cantor Fitzgerald. And on the way home, after winning this long arbitration and everything else, which is a mind blower because nobody had ever beaten Cantor Fitzgerald, and Howard Lutnick, who is now the Secretary of Commerce, okay, which I have a lien on him. Anyway, on the way back, I said, hey, who is really the most powerful people in the country. And he goes, a United States District Judge. He goes, that's as close as to being a king as there is. He can just make a proclamation and say something and then shut everything down. And this was years ago. I was like, son of a bitch, you're right. That's ridiculous. Well, since I got into all this stuff, I started looking at everything. And, you know, as I went through the process, all these judges would put out these orders that were pure crap. And they'd use the, you know, judge's opinion. I'm like, I don't care about your opinion. Give me a trial by jury. Give me my trial by jury. Even to the point where I got a petition of 500 people for a petition for a trial by jury. They willfully disregarded it. It's like, no, this is the public saying that I want a trial by jury. Anyway, so when you look into this, the United States District Courts, when we were originally founded, we had 13 district courts representing the 13 states, right? Since then, we've moved up to 94 district courts across our sphere of territory. So Guam and everything else. You gonna make it, Lily? Come on, pull it together. Get a look on the crowd, so you scare off that Punisher. There we go. Anyway,
The pug. That's awesome.
yeah, she's been up a warning. She might be smoking too much wacky. There you go. Anyway, so in the 94 districts that represent all the way to Guam and everything else, there are 677 judgeships, positions. I believe at this time, 657 are filled, and I think something like 25 are in turnover, if you will. And other ones just haven't been selected. Anyway, obviously, you can see how this stuff has become somewhat political, right, with these guys. But the power is ridiculous. Now, who do they answer to? They actually have to answer to the Supreme Court. Now, what's happened is, in reality, these district courts have been corrupted just because they come from the lower courts of the states. So they're already corrupted. So they act actually as another buffer. When you get something real serious and somebody moves something into the U.S. District Court from the state, they're like, okay, we need help here, blah, 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 blah. And so you start to see how the system really works. And it's real easy to see when you get them on some violations of just human rights, basic rights, anything, right? Specifically in foreclosure, there is no taking of property without a trial by jury. You cannot take somebody's property without a trial by jury, no matter what. That's it. And as a matter of fact, that was
so you're saying that to go to a foreclosure, you need to have a trial by jury. That's
the way
they
do it.
It has to be a trial by jury.
Yes, it has to be. As per, just recently reaffirmed by Justice Gorsuch in the case of SEC versus Jarkizi.
Yep, SEC versus Jarkizi. Yep.
He basically, in that ruling that he, and the stuff in his opinion that he and Thomas put forward and stuff, I look at that case, and every time I look at it, I go, you know, this is like re-upping your vows in a marriage. That's all this is. Now, anyway, and it blew up, quote, the Chevron Doctrine. The Chevron Doctrine was an overreach of tyranny to enable all the, quote, agencies and tribunals and basically bullshit to occur. Okay? Overreach of authority. I call it, my analogy to it is the crossing guard story. When I was a little kid and living in Cincinnati, Ohio, in Hyde Park, this was back in the day where they weren't worried about, you know, kids were allowed to scratch their knees and do something stupid or whatever.
Chew on the paint, all that good stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah, right. If you were like, you know, super duper in your spelling bee and you did really well with your crayons and everything, and you were the A student and your script was real nice, you got to be the crossing guard, right? And when you got your little orange belt and your little stoppy sign there, you know, when you did Monday and Tuesday, you were a good crossing guard. By Wednesday, you're letting your friends go, and your non-friends, no, stay on the curb. You know, making them late for school and stuff, right?
Hey, Andrew, I want to bring this up. So, Purple Pro says that they're in Cincinnati. JFS is a mess. Do you know what JFS is?
JFS. JFS. She's in Cincinnati. I can't remember what JFS.
Yeah, I don't know it.
I'm having kid memories. I'm thinking of Grater's Ice Cream, Skyline Chili. I'm thinking of my father used to call it the Triple C Ranch, Cincinnati Country Club, where I almost died trying to get golf balls off that damn pond.
Oh, Jobs and Family Services. I see. Jobs and Family Services.
Oh, yeah. That's across the country. It's insane. It's insane. That's why what I'm working on and why I've done it the way I've done it is, see, anything involving, let's say just divorce, any of that stuff, when you bring the human dynamic in it, that enables them to like create these areas of gray and stuff. No, I'm like sitting there with things like, no, this is the Administrative Procedures Act, or just like I said, trial by jury. This is you're taking property, trial by jury. It's in the Constitution, period. It's in the Northwest Pass Ordinance, 1787. No matter what, you have to have a trial by jury. The rest of this is tribunal bullshit. No, so see you later. And the point is all these judges float from all the same stuff. And actually the big laundromat of all this dirty money is the whole foreclosure scheme. Okay. So this is where, I mean, they're buying and selling kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. I know it. I mean, I've seen it. I got people that I've gone to court with and so forth. And, I try to help any way I can, but it's not a battlefield where you can say, I'm sorry. There's no gray here, guy. This is red light, green light. Sorry, Judge, you ran a red light. It's a red light. Everybody sees it's a red light. Pay. Well, I'm a judge. No, dude, you're no longer a judge. You ran the red light. We all saw.
Well, that's what we're trying to do to people here in this whole system, and it's just not working. That look at this thing can't be any more exposed than it is, either on the real estate market, on the kids market, or any of that. But is it because there's too many people that have their hands in this and they got their hands out from it that this can't change, or it's not changing because they're not listening when we're trying to enforce even these rulings that are overturned? And you bring case law, which case law is not law, but anyway, they're supposed to abide by it to a certain degree if you're in that same district. But they're not listening to these things. They laugh in your face. The authority thing with the police and all of this, it's all just no one is caring. Like for you, for instance, how much does the state owe you?
Oh, my latest claim?
Yeah.
My latest claim, I have them in default for somewhere like $788 billion.
Right. But how do we enforce this, right? Like, what do we get them to?
Oh, yeah. No, so let me
back up.
Let me, well, you got me going on two things. See, the subject that you're talking about is very important. So let me speak to something on that, because something came to me the other night. And this is just, I'm a spiritual guy. So I was told this stuff, and it's just something to watch. It popped into my head, so I'm watching. Let's make the assumption that all this stuff that's been happening with child protective services and everything else has been going on forever, right? And we can actually see stuff that's the case, right? I mean, in the 50s, basically, if somebody didn't like their wife, give her a frontal lobotomy and put her in the rubber room, whatever, right? So this crazy ass stuff has gone on forever, right? So now let's imagine that the government itself has been running this machine for a long time, right? And they're that, right? And it's been going on, and they keep it at a level where it's kind of like acceptable. People aren't really noticing it. You know what I mean? It's not there. Now, within that, there's people that are like, holy cow, these guys are making some serious bank. So all of a sudden, a couple of them, just like good drug dealers, right, would do, they're like, man, I'm going to take some of this smack and I'm going to cut it and start selling it off myself over here. So what you kind of see happening is that, like, I think it just spread outside what was their controlled system, if you will. And right now we're kind of going through this thing. And what concerns me is they're trying to sort of get their hands around it. Like the spin that, like, we brought in all these people and we rescued all these, let me just shut my door. These children. We found all these children in Memphis and other places, which is all good. Don't get me wrong. But we literally need to realize, like, the whole system is out of whack. It's way out of whack. And don't trust anybody that says they're curing. And I had conversations with some pretty serious human trafficking people in this particular area. There's a group, you can look them up. I don't know if they're still up there because we were setting up to do some tech work for them. It's A16.org, A16.org. And they're basically a group of serious military type professionals, hardcore, that go in and do like real serious human trafficking rescue things around the world. And they're connected. Well, that's about probably all I should say because I know too much about them. I don't want to step on anything. But you can see them. A16.org. But anyway, so I'm just saying, the reason I wanted to just say this bit is please don't anyone let their guard down. Like all of a sudden, let's say they stop all these different groups that they show over here, that's not going on. It's kind of like in New York City, let's say you want to bring in like 2 tons of cocaine. You know what? You let the police make a 100-pound bust on Pier 22. And then the next week, you bring the big block in, right? It's like in that very place. Because when even people hear the call, like there's a ship here unloading coke, it's like, nah, that was last week, you dumbass.
Right.
Anyway.
Red flags, right? Red flags, we call that stuff.
Red flags. So to describe, so everyone understands what, I care about everything with the law. And what I've found is the whole system is broken. The main linchpin to start with are the judges. They're the enablers to allow all this to happen. So I've gotten to a place where I've basically, I have them and I've filed writs of capias to arrest them. They've all willfully ignored my writs of habeas corpus, which is well within my right and liberty of filings for violations of rights. And my latest thing is that I just put out as a public notice, which I'm soon to send to all the government officials. And I'm in the process of trying to figure out and learn here as to how I can work this. Is basically the whole U.S. government has used a bioweapon on us, which I did put in my filing as to Connecticut because I had firsthand experience with that, and that being the shot, the mRNA stuff, and all that. And I knew all that stuff was bad news way before anybody. I even knew about the COVID thing before it happened. It wasn't, how do I put this? One of my advisors is a gentleman named, and you can look him up, Dr. Steve Cunnion, Cunnion. He's credited, if you look deep, not just right on the front stuff, but if you look deep up on Dr. Steve Cunnion, he's credited with discovering SARS in China. Now, if you remember when SARS occurred in China, we had no access to China. And we were freaking the Chinese out because we were telling them where SARS was going to be before they knew where it was going to be. And they're like, how the hell can you do that? Mm-hmm. Well, one of my partners has done 13 years of DARPA work, and specifically in technology, and actually is one of the most brilliant people in the world in the area, and actually worked on programs that were actually designed and modeled as to tracking bird flu and stuff. Because bird flu, infectious disease doesn't care about your border, right? So, so anyway, they used it with that. They also used the program. You remember when we had swine flu? The White House used the program to enable the opening of the borders here when there was swine flu. And believe me, the people in Washington were freaking out about swine flu because a class of the University of Delaware went down to Mexico and they all got swine flu. So all the senators and representatives were all freaking out, you know, like, oh my God, we're going to get swine flu. Because they don't care about the rest of us cockroaches, but, you know, for them. Anyway, the point is Dr. Steve Kunyon, who's one of the foremost experts in terms of infectious disease all over the world, gave us a call sometime in, I think it was 2018, something like that. He said something to us of like, hey, there's a thing that's going to be coming out of China. They're going to try to make it into this real scary ass thing. It's nothing worse than the common cold. People will be fine. Their immune systems will pick it up and deal fine with it and everything else. You know, you have to remember, like, you know, when they start talking about like, whoa, there were people that were dying. Like, people die when you get the flu. When we have the flu, there are people that are weak in their immune system, or they're older or whatever, and they pass away. Mm-hmm. Don't be giving the infectious disease mRNA thing to a 5-year-old. Also, one should know, I mean, and I'm sure people have heard this stuff, you know, all the mRNA stuff, okay, it's not a vaccine anyway, but I'm not going to get into details, but the all the animal studies of mRNA work, okay? Not one animal survived. Not one.
Man, that's a scary thing.
It on people all over the place. I mean, it
That's
attacks.
so scary. That's scary.
That's too, yeah, it really is scary. And believe me, I have lost a great deal of friends and everything else and all kinds of people because I made a pact. I made my contract with God, and I said, no matter what, I'm going to teach the people that I know and love, and as many people as I can, what I know. And I shared that with people. And, you know, there were people, I had direct family members that, you know, and, you know, a lot of people, what's happening right now is we can see by different things, we can see the impact. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because I've been sitting here in a little bit of a stalemate at the U.S. Supreme Court with stuff because I'm arresting all the justices, and I have the justices, okay? Mm-hmm. They're keeping it all quiet. I love how our courts are all public and that you got no information as to what's been filed at the U.S. Supreme Court. You only hear about what cases they're going to hear, right? They don't hear about any applications. See, publicly, our courts should have every single, like, for example, every single foreclosure that's come to the U.S. Supreme Court. Why shouldn't they know that there's thousands, right? Why shouldn't they know about toll and roll? Why shouldn't
they should? Everybody should know about toll and roll.
Right. So why is it? Or all this stuff with child protective services, everything. Like, why aren't every application and statement and affidavit publicly accessible? Oh no, you can get it on Pacer. Oh, give me a fucking break. It's like it's ridiculous. It's a joke. Anyway, what I would like to put up, if you could, is that war crimes piece with the American Alliance, the Alliance of Indigenous Nations piece, and then I think we'll call it a day with this. You don't mind?
That's fine. Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes anyway, so that's perfect.
Let me see. I'm going to try to grab this myself.
I got our man Gunner in the backstage. I don't know if he wanted to come in here and ask you a couple questions, maybe. Gunner's got a lawsuit himself going.
Sure.
in the States. Let's see if Gunner wanted to
Okay.
come out. Gunner, do you want to come out? See him back there. Let's see if he wants to come out. There we go. I guess not. I guess he took off. I guess he won't come out with this thing. Yeah, I don't know what you want to, let me see. Let's see.
I got the criminal stuff to get done and the
Hey, Gunner.
I'm sorry.
Gunner,
That's what you're gonna get sit with a fucking lawsuit for that bullshit.
listen and talking,
That's
right?
you don't get whatever.
Do you want me to pull up your screen share, Andy?
I thought I tried to share.
Yeah, here, I got you. There it is.
All right. Well, let me read this. I would love to have everyone see this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Not doing. Oh, there it goes. Well, I'm going to read it from my screen because I want everyone to just hear this. This is a public and judicial notice, and I'm even making it publicly here now. A, war crimes, Title 18 U.S. Code 2441, public and judicial notice, October 14th, 2025. All officers, agents, clerks, judges, administrators, and actors of the corporations doing business as in caps, State of Connecticut, State of Delaware, and the government of the United States, plus Palantir Technologies, Inc., have no authority to adjudicate, govern, or legislate as they are at war with the U.S. Constitution and engage in acts of treason. They are the enemy of the American people, executing domestic terrorism and genocide through seditious conspiracy and use of biological weapons. This is treason as demonstrated by the obvious violations of their oath and duty. My charges and claims are below. Title 18 U.S. Code 2441, war crimes. Title 18 U.S. Code 2384, seditious conspiracy. Title 18 U.S. Code 2331, definitions of domestic terrorism. Title 18 U.S. Code 2332B, acts of terrorism transcending national boundaries. Title 18 U.S. Code 175, prohibitions with respect to biological weapons. Title 18 U.S. Code 1091, genocide. Title 18 U.S. Code 2382, misprision of treason. And Title 18 U.S. Code 2381, treason by a weaponized weaponized U.S. judicial branch from top to bottom, executing upon we the people of America through pirated power affirmed by enemy courts. Plus, violation of the Justice for Victims of War Crimes Act and Geneva Conventions as affirmed by October 8, 2025 Declaration and Order of the Alliance of Indigenous Nations, AIN International Tribunal, which states, this tribunal finds and hereby declares that the COVID-19 nanoparticle injections or mRNA nanoparticle injections or COVID-19 injections meet the criteria of biological weapons and weapons of mass destruction, according to the Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act of 1989, Title 18 U.S. Code 175, Weapons and Firearms 79.166, Florida Statute 2023, Canada's Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention Implementation Act of 2004, and the International Biological Weapons Convention. This tribunal finds and hereby declares that the COVID-19 injections, mRNA injections, or mRNA nanoparticle injections are in fact biological and technological weapons of mass destruction. Legal maxim: the government is to be subject to the law, for the law makes the government. Authority: as a living, breathing American man, one of we the people, the owners of our government, I, Andrew Hamilton Pritchard, sui juris, have the authority to address any felony that I witnessed firsthand. Connecticut General Statute 54-170, arrest without warrant. Signed, Andrew Hamilton Pritchard, October 14th, 2025, with my thumbprint in red. The following is, there's 11 pages that I attach, which is the actual international tribunal. And I'm just going to hit on some high points real quick that they have
Sure
here.
thing.
They run through that, what I read to you about the declaration, where the tribunal finds and hereby declares COVID-19 biological and technological weapons of mass destruction. Reasons. Part 1, expert opinion of Dr. Francis Boyle, which I have in all my stuff. He's the one that got the international law and terms and everything else. It's all in there. Part 2, expert opinion of Anna Marcia McCullough. These are all things that everyone, there's all public. They talk about self-assembly nanotechnology, hydrogel polymers, biosensor, blood clots of polymer plastic. Clots show indestructibility. Like, for example, in quotes, polyethylene, part of the polyethylene glycol in the Pfizer C-19 vaccine is well-known choice for making bioplastics. Unlike normal blood clots, a polymer bioplastic clot is far hardier and much hardier to dissolve. Dr. McCullough and Clifford Cornicorn attempted to dissolve it with 9 different reagents, including fuel-injecting cleaner, strong sulfuric acid, alcohol, and lye. None of them made any difference except for a minor reaction with lye. Translates to harm in patients, transhumanism, broad systemic diseases, as proven by everybody getting sick, risk to human genome and shedding, that's also been validated. Gene altering agents or bioweapons, they have all the information there as to these things. Let's see, keep going, page 8. DNA fragments in Dr. Spector and other published articles, because they put other crap in there. Oh, this is really nice. Part 7, fetal harm and purposeful abortificant. Studies we examined shown severe harms from COVID-19 injections during pregnancy. Thorpe et al. Found unacceptable high breaches in safety signals for 37 adverse events after COVID-19 injections in pregnant women and called for an immediate global moratorium on COVID-19 injections during pregnancy, which was willfully ignored. Part 8, this is a good one. You love to hear this one. Depopulation. Dr. Rima Lebeau notes that the application of COVID-19 nanoparticle injections or mRNA nanoparticle injections or COVID-19 injections are consistent, in fact, with the official United States doctrine of depopulation as articulated by Henry Kissinger in his December 10, 1974 National Security Study Memorandum as adopted by the United States in collaboration with the United Nations.
Wow.
Get it? You getting it? Censorship. There's a whole part 9 on censorship. Now, let me take a drink here because this is important. I got 1 page and then I'll sign off because I'm too much of a know-it-all. Anyway, this is the conclusion. The AIN, okay, which is Alliance of Indigenous Nations, okay? The AIN Tribunal finds that the application of biological and technological weapons of mass destruction with gene editing and nanotechnology and transhumanist additions will result and has resulted in a genocide. And then in parentheses, okay, so people don't belittle these guys or whatever. In parentheses, they say, for clarity, this panel does not minimize the Holocaust. Then they go on to say, mankind has been living in the most powerful of delusions that murder by government or NGOs or international corporate oligarchy could ever rest on any moral principle. The fundamental purpose of law is to seek the truth and provide for justice. The tribunal finds that these bioweapons, COVID-19 injections, mRNA injections, or mRNA nanoparticle injections, were constructed by colonial powers to be deployed universally on mankind and on our original peoples as a priority group. As such, colonial systems have only served to perpetuate the injustice of what can only be seen as a planned and executed murder and depopulation of mankind around the world. The lack of justice in colonial systems must be seen as by design to further the application and deployment of bioweapons on the public. We ask the original peoples and the rest of mankind to stand together to give this decision and declaration the force of morality and justice, which is the basis of any system of law. There can be no architecture of law that is permissive grant to deploy bioweapons on mankind. We find there is a consequential degenerous race, it's hard for me to say that, I'm sorry, in the intrinsic value of mankind by those who have and continue to promulgate the application of weapons of mass destruction on humanity. The COVID-19 injections, mRNA injections, or mRNA nanoparticle injections are weapons, biological weapons, cellular weapons, poisonous weapons, genetic weapons, nanotechnology, intergenerational weapons, technological weapons. This tribunal finds and hereby declares that COVID-19 injections, mRNA injections, or mRNA nanoparticle injections are in fact biological, technological weapons of mass destruction.
Wow.
And then, they go into like, I should finish reading it. This tribunal finds and hereby declares that the COVID-19 nanoparticle injections or mRNA nanoparticle injections or COVID-19 injections meet the criteria of biological weapons, weapons of mass destruction, according to the Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act of 1989, Title 18 U.S. Code 175, Weapons and Firearms of Florida, Canada's Biological Toxin Weapons Convention Implementation Act of 2004, and the International Biological Weapons Convention. This order and declaration is intended to have immediate worldwide effect, issued on the 8th day of October 2025. Now, so everybody understands the power of these guys, I want to put things in perspective. The Mohegan tribe here in Connecticut is a member of this Alliance of Indigenous Nations, okay? Almost every federally recognized tribe in the United States, which covers almost every state in the United States, okay, is a member. This group leases the land to Canada. Not only that, this is the global one. If you guys just look up Indigenous Nations on Wikipedia, you'll probably come up with 85 pages of stuff, just listing them all. Not to mention, here in the United States, you can see tribe after tribe after tribe. Now, what kind of power? Power really comes with money. Well, let's look at the Mohegan tribe here in the state of Connecticut. They donate to the state of Connecticut. They've donated as much as $4 billion. This state wouldn't even exist without them.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Okay. And there's many states like that. Okay. So this is not a lightweight thing. And I actually say that it's a spiritual thing, because it seems as if the ones that really got screwed and tattooed and killed and genocide and wiped out and family destruction, all of a sudden they're in a position of power and effect. See, because they have treaties and contracts, and our government is to protect them. Now, what I'm trying to learn right now is, I think my pug got the COVID shot. Are you okay there? Anyway, I'm trying to find out what kind of jurisdiction, I can use this from a jurisdiction standpoint, because see, these are nations and countries and tribes and everything that are within the United States. So can I go into a tribal court and then have these things resolved? that are my situation. I'm not, because these are crimes against humanity. This is where, and I have the U.S. government with this. I mean, that's how my Connecticut claim has gotten to somewhere like $788 billion. And somebody goes, 788 billion. I basically took the population of Connecticut is around 3,450,000. Okay. I figured the harm done to every person, I just put a number on it of $200,000. I said $200,000. There you go. Look, I throw that in. Then with the mix of everything else that's happened and stuff to me and everything else, I'm like, there you go. So that's how it sort of built on itself.
And then we're going to put that up on my website. Is that cool with you? CPSBreakingNews.com?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, perfect. So you guys can check that out.
Well, I got another one that's good. Well, I'll give you stuff all the time. But anyway, I have all kinds of things that have filed into the U.S. Supreme Court that the U.S. Supreme Court is trying to blockade. Mm-hmm. They've all gone in with a writ of habeas corpus. You have to understand that our whole system has been seized by evil. Do not get into the politics. It's good versus evil. Mm-hmm. Do not let them split us up because of colors, race, anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's just not, it's not what it is. No. This is good versus evil, and there are some bad people.
Yes, there is, man.
But there's a lot of really good and smart and exciting, and I mean, what a gift today for me to be able to go blah 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 and have some people.
I love it, man. And we're gonna do more of this, Andy. We're gonna do some more of this, but we are out of our time. We just capped our time here.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No.
God bless.
Listen, let's do this again. Maybe we do it again next Sunday, same time.
Anytime. Holy cow.
Andy, how do these guys get a hold of you?
I'm just on email. You can put my email up there.
Okay.
My email is A Pritchard.
Hold on a second.
Cal, Lily. My email is A Pritchard, APRITCHARD 1963 @gmail.com. And it's on all my legal documents. I put it on different things. So we'll put up stuff, and
there we go. Put that right there. Boom. There's the email right here, guys. I just put it on the bottom of the screen. And then also, you guys can, if you want to get a hold of him, you can also go to send us a message at info@CPS. Hey, Gunner wants to know if you'd be a guest on his show. Also, he just put that up there in the chat. I don't know if he's talking about for tonight or if
anytime.
Right.
I love to. I mean, I don't want to wear, you're
not wearing out anything. The Rising Rare Jim wants to know if you are native. It would be a privilege. And Gunner said
it would
next
be
week.
a privilege. Okay. One other thing, I'm doing this for safety reasons. I don't have a site. It's not really a site. I have on Rumble, okay, I put up a whole bunch of videos, and they're all there to protect me, okay, because of different things that I've done and filed. And it's on Rumble, and it's called Humble on Rumble.
Humble on Rumble.
Oh, and with that, Humble on Rumble. With that, I'd like to give you something that'll kind of, there's some outfit called Operation Disclosure or Judy Byington or something. Judy Byington, Operation Disclosure or something like that. I don't know. But listen to this. I had 2 of my videos that they put up there. Somebody got them and put them up. And they went up, and I had like 10,000 views of one and like 6,500 views of another. And they're long. They were like an hour long. So that's, from what I understand, is significant.
Yes, sir,
right?
it is.
So I sent other stuff on to this place because people said you should send on some other stuff just so you can get that notice in these things. And guess what? They don't take any of my stuff. They don't do anything with it. And I mean, I've arrested 9 justices of the U.S. Supreme Court officially. certified mail. Got it all right here, everything. Affidavits, you name it. All lawful.
I got a couple people that I'm sure that are going to want to get you on an interview, my friend. You've just got yourself wide open getting here with us at CPS Breaking News, that's for sure. We'll get you out there. Gunner wants you to be on the show next week, so we'll book you in for that one next Sunday night at 9:30, and let's do the same thing again next Sunday at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, Andy. What do you think?
Okay, anything you want. God bless you.
Let's make this our show. We'll do this every Sunday at 4 o'clock. How's that?
That sounds good.
All right, cool. All right, everybody.
All right.
So we'll be back next Sunday at 4 o'clock. If you guys need to get a hold of Andy between now and then, it's apritchard1963 at Gmail, Humble on Rumble. And then we're obviously going to have his stuff on info at CPS Breaking News. Until then.
One other thing.
Yes, sir.
One other thing, I'm just thought of this. When you go to Humble on Rumble, I try to put all kinds of information that people can use in the memo field. In other words, like you bring it up and then it says what the thing is. You can actually see stuff there and copy things there and case law and all kinds of things. I try to make it so people can grab stuff and use stuff and do things with it.
Awesome. So
If
guys,
that makes any sense.
check out his Humble on Rumble for sure. But that's it. That's us. I'm the CPS Punisher, and we're out of here. Have a good one, guys. Andy, thank you so much, my man.
Thank you.
Never been
Lily.
a perfect person. I put the cart before the horse. A list of reasons, long as sermons, why I never needed God. Then I heard his voice, so sweet. It put me on my knees. I'm holding on to hope for dear life. With God driving, and I'm finally free at last. God driving, God driving.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stop the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightst feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.